time has gone 5 minutes after the hour, 6 o'clock. A very good evening to you and welcome to it. Broadcast brought to you courtesy of Government Communication and Information System, the GCIS, in partnership with the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. This is the third episode in season 2 of the Let's Talk Justice, Live Your Rights show. My name is Karabolans Strolana Sabapidil Matebele. I'm glad to be in your company and that we could meet up again on our weekly program, as we always say and always expect loads of inspiration, information and empowerment as well in store for us this evening. So looking forward to it. In order for us to reach the maximum level of communication, this program will mainly be in English. But let me encourage you to speak in any language of your choice. Any of the 11 official languages, you're more than welcome to speak to us in any of those. If we're unable to understand perhaps a certain lingo, we'll then ask you to translate in English. But just go on. If you call in and you would like to speak to us, you're more than welcome to speak in any language of your choice. Government Communication and Information System, GCIS, Justice and Constitutional Development. Government Communication and Information System, the GCIS, Nomnyango with Justice and Constitutional Development. Kamalam Gukarabolans, as I said, Setlolwana. Very excited to be on this show, I must tell you, especially now that we're rotating presenters. I can't wait for my turn to come to go on the radio. So this is my turn. I better make use of this 50 to 55 to an hour's time that we have for this program here. Okay, the points of contact for this evening are as follows. We've got telephone, we've got social media. All right, on telephone, you're more than welcome to reach us on 0800 142 446. I will repeat it again. It's 0800 142 446. If you'd like to reach us via the Facebook, you're more than welcome to do that as well. The Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, and that's where you can get us. On Twitter, we at DOJCD_ZA. That's DOJCD_ZA. Instagram, we at DOJCD. So those are a point of contact for this evening if you want to chat with us. Joining us in the studio, we are very delighted to welcome the Senior Legal Admin Officer within the Office of the Family Advocate, Kim Josephine Peta. Welcome to you, Mepeta. Thank you so much that you've taken some time to chat to us this evening and to come to the studio.
Good evening, South Africa. Thank you very much for having me. Today we're going to be discussing the importance of the Office of the Family Advocate.
There you go. Yeah, as you can hear, she's ready to go. Introducing the topic already. I'm very happy. You're making my job easier this evening. Very happy to do that. I understand this is something that you're very passionate about.
I'm very much passionate, especially given the history of the Office of the Family Advocate.
Right.
When I speak to people, I always say to them, let's look at the milestone. Let's look at where we come from.
Wow.
The services used to be, for the elite. For the people who could afford to get to the high courts, because they were only restricted to the seats of the high court. However, now, due to the rationalization of justice, then we see, now the services being opened to everyone. It is very, very exciting, because before it was only, the services were only restricted to children whose parents were married,
right,
in terms of the Marriages Act, and who were subsequently divorcing. So it means that if your parents were never married, then you could never get any service from us.
Geez, already I can tell that there's a whole lot more that we're going to be learning about.
Yes.
Just what you said now.
Yes.
I've got just a lot of questions already. Let's go.
Yeah.
So just a formality, let me just introduce the topic for this evening one more time so that you can understand exactly what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about the Office of the Family Advocate, and they're celebrating their 25th year. Am I correct? 25th?
It's 26th.
26th, I beg your pardon. So the 26th anniversary of the Office of the Family Advocate. 26 years and going.
Yes, true.
Can
And
be.
they are really, these are really exciting times. Like I just alluded to before, to say before the services were, only restricted for children who were born of marriage. However, now with the promulgation of the Children's Act, we saw so many exciting things, so many changes. So now those children whose parents were never married, they can still access our services. And the beauty of our service is that it is the only institution in the whole world wherein you find a multidiscipline team. You find the family counselor who assists parties, to deal with their interpersonal relationships, and who does also what we call forensic investigation, like going deeper into the, the risks that impacts on children. And then afterwards, you then have the family advocate who will then compile a report based on what the social worker found as they were investigating with regard to the welfare of the child. So you can imagine that. And we are the only institution that does that.
And we are proud to say that as well. We're proud to say that as South Africans. 0800 142 446, 0800 142 446, Facebook, the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, Twitter at DOJCD_ZA, Instagram at DOJCD. Remember, you can speak any language of your choice. Or what you're more than welcome to do that. You can do them. There we go. Yeah. The class have got to come into the whole play as well. So you're more than welcome to call in. Would like to hear from you. If perhaps you are dealing with issues that's got to do with children, children's rights, a family with regards to children, and access to services for children, this is the show for you this evening. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the gist of the whole thing. Let's take a couple of steps back. You and I were flying.
Yes.
We're flying. I can see the producers on the other side. They're like, hey, these guys, already they're on point 17 of the script. Okay, let's go back a little bit for those who are just joining us now. We're talking about the family, the Office of the Family of the Advocate, the Office of the Family Advocate. When we're talking about it, what is it exactly, this office that we're talking about? What do these people do?
Okay, the Office of the Family Advocate is, a neutral government institution. It is under the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, and like I said, because it is a government institution, they render their services free of charge. And when you walk in, you will get services in terms of which the office, assist parents in terms of co-parenting, in terms of resolving their disputes, when the relationship finishes, those ramifications, those particular consequences. So, people will get hurt and then they'll get very angry and all that, and, they will slightly forget about the needs of their child. So we assist them in terms of, setting them aside and focusing on the needs of the children. Mm-hmm. So we assist them in terms of, care and contact of the child.
All right. So those are some of the offices that you offer.
Yes.
More than that, what else do you offer outside what you just spoken about right now?
Okay, and we also offer services with regard to mediation. Like I alluded to say before, the services were only restricted to those children whose parents were married. However, with the Children's Act, you get Section 21, which says that fathers who had, who are unmarried, but then they do have children, they can approach our offices, and then we still, do mediation with them, and then also cater for the children. To the extent that we will talk about issues such as, getting the parties to enter into an agreement and regulating how the child is going to be taken care of and how the child is still going to have contact with both the parents. So what we're particularly doing is we are working toward promoting what we call family cohesion, giving the child that family feel, right, post the separation of the parents. Right. The child needs to still feel that, I still see my mom and my dad, right, despite the fact that they have broken, their relationship has broken down. So that's what we do for the child.
That's wonderful. 0800 142 446, 0800 142 446. It's already 14 after 6. Time flies. Don't get left behind, by the way. We'd like you to be part of this broadcast. Any questions that you might be having this evening, please feel free to call us. We'd like to hear from you. Maybe you're dealing with issues with your children or your child, for instance, and things are not looking well for you. Perhaps we might be having answers for you. Let's hear from you. 0800 142 446. By the way, that number is a toll-free number if you're going to be calling from a telecom line. So in other other words, if you pick up your telephone line, telecom line, and you call us, you're not going to be paying any single cent. You might be asking, but what happens when I call in and berekisa cell phone? Don't worry about it. We'll take your details down and then we'll phone back. In that way, Okasi incur the cost. So in terms of questions, you may forward some of your questions on our Facebook and Twitter platforms as well as Instagram. So 0800 142 446 0800 142 446. Okay, now the big question you might be asking yourself: who appoints the family advocate? Maybe you'd like to jump in there.
Yes, with regard to the family advocate, when this office was created, it was created in terms of the Mediation in Certain Divorce Matters Act, and what it provided for was that the court could make an order to say that the family advocate must be appointed in order to, to launch an inquiry into the welfare of the child. However, now, with regard to the Children's Act, and it has promoted access to justice, you can just walk in anytime at our offices and get the services.
You don't have to make an appointment.
No, walk in anytime in one of the 26 offices. You can walk in anytime.
Hang on, you're saying 26 offices? Wow,
yes.
That's countrywide.
Yes, countrywide. Yes.
All right, we'll talk about some of the places where as we take callers, just note where they're coming from,
right.
And maybe if you can, at the top of your mind, remember where offices are situated. Okay. You can maybe just advise on that.
I'll do so.
Let's take our first caller. How about that? Okay. Emily, you calling from Pretoria. Good evening to you, Emily. Good evening to you, Emily from Pretoria. Emily,
Hi.
Pretoria. Hi, Emily. How are you doing?
Good on you.
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for calling in. You're our first caller. You get the prize for being our first caller, and that's me clapping my hands to you. So what is your question, Emily?
So my question is, we have an issue with me and my husband. He had a child from the previous relationship. Now the mother is deceased. So we wanted to take care of the child. So, but we went to the court, the family court, and they referred him to they said to him, he must get a lawyer. They don't deal with those stuff. And at the moment, the child is staying with the aunt, and now the aunt has applied for SASSA, and the husband is also supporting the child. So we feel like there's, and they don't want us to at least keep the child, because we are a family. We feel like we have to raise him because he is part of us. But the aunt is refusing with the child, and it has to do with money things.
Okay,
So
I'm hearing you say that they don't want you to take the child. Who's they?
The aunt.
The aunt doesn't want you guys to take the child. Is she giving any reasons why you guys are not supposed to take the child?
No, they are not giving us any reason. So, but it's just here and say that because they have applied for the grant and they are receiving the grant for the child, they don't want to let the child go because they feel like they will forfeit that.
So this has got nothing to do with actually the child. That's just me saying. All right, I'll tell you what, Emily, just keep on listening on the radio, and then we'll answer your question just now. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. 0800 142 446 0800 142 446. I'm just being told by our social network producer that some of the numbers are available on our Facebook page. By the way, if you want to go check them out, you're more than welcome to do that. The Department of Justice and Constitutional Development on Facebook. You can check some of those contact details there. Here's a typical case, and we hear about this a lot, where if a father wants to take custody of the child. In this instance, the mother has passed away already, and he's owning up to say, look, I would like to take care of my child. The child is staying with the aunt. The aunt is saying it's not going to happen, and suspicion is that because the aunt has applied for a SASSA grant on which I think she's getting it already. What can the dad do in terms of remedying the situation?
Okay. I would advise the dad to visit because I could hear that Emily said she's based in Pretoria. If the child is ordinarily resident, like he's also residing in Pretoria, the dad can approach the office of the family advocate, and I want to say why. With this promulgation of the Children's Act, like the South African family law has now shifted in terms of, we're no longer talking about issues of custody. We're talking about parental responsibilities and rights. Okay. Which is actually broad, which actually incorporates the issues of custody. And there we're talking about the parent or the parent's right to take care of the child, to have contact with the child, to act as a legal guardian of the child, as well as to also maintain the child. So in that regard, what should happen is that he will visit the office of the family advocate, and the office of the family advocate is going to invoke Section 21 of the Children's Act, in terms of which they will inquire as to whether has he acquired those particular rights. I'm also, but I'm talking on assumption that maybe, the child was conceived out of marriage. So if that is the case, and then they will have to call the people who have the interest in the welfare of the child, and which is probably the aunt, to come in, so that the family advocate can now then implement mediation between the two of them. And should they not agree, what is going to happen is that the office will issue what we call a certificate of outcome, in order to enable the father, to just have a head start in terms of approaching the court and having the court, assist him in terms of resolving the matter. So what the court is going to do in this regard is that, because now the mother is now deceased, is the court may even go to an extent of ordering what we call a family group forum, in terms of which, this particular issue of the child is going to be dealt with, and the child's best interests are definitely going to be secured.
All right. 0800 142 446, 0800 142 446. Let's take Defender. Good evening to you, Defender.
Oh, Padco.
Padco. I've been told Defender's on the line. Somebody's going to get a hiding this evening. But good evening to you, Padco, all the way from Aliwal North. That's the guy that's taking care of Takalani FM. Good evening to you, my brother. What's your question?
Thank you, Dad.
umbuzo wami wokuqala benifuna ukuqonda phela ke kuyo umama Karabo uba mawukhethe ingaba bazenza nini i-outreach ne since besuka ku-office of the family advocate bazenza nini i-outreach kwi-rural areas. Umbuzo wami wokuqala lo. Then umbuzo wami wesibili ngifuna ukuqonda ukuba kukho abantwana abane-disability abakhoyo ufumana ukuthi meantime esiya ucela uncedo, and then uncedo akalifumani, mhlawumbe akakwazi ukuhamba, udinga i-wheelchair. So ke ngoku ufumana ukuthi abazali bakhe basweleka, uhlala nabantwana bakokwabo ababini, then xa idinga i-assistant angenza njani so that akwazi ufumane lo mntana kowabo le i-wheelchair so that akwazi ukuthi abe ne-movement. And kwakhona kunabantwana abahlala ezitratini ne, ingaba i-Department of Justice inga-assista kanjani ukwenzela ukuthi abo bantwana abo exexesheni elininzi they are using i-drugs, i-grab i-bags zabantu, and then they do a lot of crimes. I-Department of Justice ingabanceda njani abo bantwana abo ukwenzela ukuthi basuke ezitratini and then bafumane a brighter future. Ndiyabulela kakhulu Karabo ngomona kuTakalani FM.
Ndiyabulela kuwe Padco, all the way from the Eastern Cape, Takalani FM. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Let's go on and go to Hammanskraal, and we're chatting to Mary.
Hello.
Good evening to Mary.
Hello.
Hi, Mary ni guy.
Okay.
Rutem, potso wa uri ni waka.
It's a girl, and many are unmarried. And right now, it's not that I don't know the father. And then, but she's staying around my area, but I don't know who can help me. Because now they were staying together there, unmarried, just living together. So, right now I'm left with a child, and then the child was 1 month old, and now he's 3.5 old. He knows me as the mother, and then I don't know the relative. I don't know anybody who can help me or who is the father. And unfortunately, the mother left something. When I was working for the government as a student, so if I must access the money, the Department of Justice, I go there. I struggle to get the money. Right now, the children don't have anything to eat or shoes to wear, but otherwise, some other things like clothes, eating,
and then ke ba rekile a tray of this booty tsa plastic gum.
Right.
So unfortunately, Hakiako Department of Justice, they are like people who the first thing, I don't know the father, I cannot access the father, I don't even know the name and anything. Well, now because of anorexia due to the stress of the father, anorexia. So unfortunately, even when I go to the Department of Justice to access the money, I access it. They give me something like 12,000 out of the money every year. It's very release for creche and other things. So I divide it accordingly, and then most of the support is from my pocket because the children are two.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So unfortunately, right now I'm waiting for the money, but I don't know when to approach the Department of Justice because I'm putting the most senior person is person and I'm just calling home. So right now I'm driving, I'm going for night duty. I've left the children go next door with another lady, just a childminder. And then Department of Justice keeps them saying, wait for 8 weeks. You are really can't you just speed up for something for these children because I'm working part-time.
Okay.
Right now I'm going to work and then the house is locked.
All right.
So two things I'm worried about the father who is not a speeding up thing, but the thing is that each time I must access it, I must struggle. I'm not the first person who what they mentioned. I'm not beautiful more than any other person.
Okay. Well, I want to to be told who you're not the first person. That's. Okay. All right. We'll deal with even that. Because that's not the answers that you should be getting. Who you're not the first person as if you don't know who you're
and
not.
Then
Okay, Osmeri, just for the interest of taking more callers, I think that we've got the gist of what your problem is. Just keep on listening on the radio, and then we'll definitely, Josephine will definitely answer to that. Ne?
Okay, so my cell number is a very same one. So I'm on night duty right now. During the day, I'll keep it open so that you can access me.
Okay, 100%. Thank you so much for your call.
Thank you. God bless you.
All right, cool. 0800 142 446. That's 0800 142 446. We've got two callers already. We spoke to Partco and we had just a chat with Mary just now. Let's start with Partco. He wants to. This is somebody that's very passionate about transformation when it comes to the rural areas, especially the area Ealinkoyona. Okay. He wants to find out better information is power. Now, in terms of outreaches, to access those far-flung areas, to empower them with information, are you doing any outreaches at the moment? Are there any plan in the future? Have you done some in the past? And if you have, whereabout, if you've done them and so forth?
Okay. Dr. Partco, we have done outreaches in the past. Last year already, in 2015, we celebrated the International Day of Children, and that was done in Soshanguve. And then again in 2015, last year October, we celebrated 25 years of the Office of the Female Advocate, and then we rolled out the program to various provinces. But then last year, specifically in the Rutagitile, our townships, the Rutagitile rural areas, we went to Kimberley in the Northern Cape. We were also in Atlantis, in Cape Town. Mm-hmm. We also did in Umbumbulu in Devon, and then this year again we went to Lephalale, Limpopo area, and then we have a very long plan in terms of going to rural areas and previously disadvantaged areas.
So it's happening.
Yes, it is happening. So we will be going to Northwest now in October, and then we will also we taking them one by one. All so right. It is definitely happening.
Good stuff. I would like us to go on with some of the questions that Partco has asked and Mary, but I don't want to keep John holding on for too long. Maybe let's take John and we'll go back to the questions. John, good evening to you.
Hi, it's Johan here, and good evening to you as well.
Thank you so much, Johan. May I ask you to please just turn your radio off a little bit there?
Yes, it's been turned off.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Josephine, I'd like to speak to you. I have got a child very dear to my heart, and I don't see her often. The case has been lodged with Durban Family Advocates there, and it was referred from the court. I requested it to be referred from the court. So what happened is I am been going to and forth court so much that they've now postponed without a date for us to have a meeting with the family advocate. So, it gets frustrating because, they are swamped, but, the time is getting so far away with the mother or child resisting to use the releasing their child in any way. And it's become a problem. So my question is, how can I fast track a thing like this? What is the procedure for me living in Pretoria and then living in Port Shepstone? How will that impact? And what with the future? That's my question. What is the future outcome of something like this? Thank you very, very much.
Johan, thank you so much for your call. I appreciate it.
I love your show, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much that you're a dear listener to our show as well. There we go. 0800 142 446. 0800 142 446. Have you got any Twitter, Facebook? Okay, we do. Apparently, I will get to those just now. I just need to boot up this beautiful laptop that I have, by the way. I see some of my producers are very jealous because I'm the one with a fancy laptop. Some of them are still using the old school stuff. Every time they have to work on their stuff, they gotta go buy coal. We've got storage of coal outside, Vaseline. They have to buy Vaseline for it to work. Alright, 0800 142 446. We don't have any call at the moment, so let's quickly go back to Patco's. Patco mentioned something that's got to do with kids with disabilities.
Yes. But Patco mentioned something, that is very dear to my heart as well.
Yeah.
But I've got good news about to Uba Patco because although the Office of the Family Advocate deals with issues of care and contact of children, we also have stakeholders, and one of our stakeholders is the Department of Social Development,
right,
which deals with children in need of care and protection.
Right.
So what Baba Patco alluded to is with regard to those kind of issues. So I would recommend Baba Patco to contact the nearest Department of Social Development in his area and then bring that to the attention of the department. What they will do is they will immediately appoint a designated social worker to look into the welfare of the matter, of the children. Sorry.
All right, and then he spoke about kids living on the streets. I don't want to call them homeless kids because can I believe before they on the streets they belonged somewhere. Yes. And maybe something went wrong. So it's fine. We can call them homeless for the mere fact that we want to put a terminology to it. But I think once we start realizing where they are right now, there was a home before and something went wrong, that will help us sort the problems that we're seeing with these kids living on the streets. Okay, he mentioned that as well. How is the Office of the Family Advocate jump into matters of kids living on the streets?
Yes, it's similar to the response that I just gave now with regard to children in need of care and protection. So that falls within the mandate of the Department of Social Development. But however, we wouldn't just turn a person away. What we'll do is, like I said, we have stakeholders, we have relationships, we have developed relationships with this department. So wherein we, I would recommend that he go there and he will definitely be assisted.
All right, Mary, I'm coming to your questions right now. Skawara Usaka Abgate. I'm just seeing I've got Kwena on the line from Mulech. Kwena Lakai, or is it? I beg your pardon. Maybe it's Kwena in a male. Good evening to Kwena.
Okay.
Kwena Gam.
Ro, na ke Kwena Mulech.
Au pushwal nari.
Ke na le ngwana o batswadi ba gae ba separatileng, then monna o ne a supporta a di ma, then ke nyaka o tsaba re ka re a sa supporta ga re tswetse mosebetsi re direng gore re ke re tšhelete ya future maintenance.
Okay, so basically Rasa support, and that's what you're worried about. You would like to make sure the child is supported one way or the other.
Because o santse a le mo sekolong.
Okay, all right, we'll definitely jump into that one. Galaba Mekwena Wamlich. 0800 142 446. I got to go like a speed. Yeah, I'll go like a speed, boy. o tla go re tla se bolela speed ya ke ya se bolela speed go hey 0800 142 446 nesizulu ngikhuluma isizulu mangifuni in fact ngiyasikhuluma isizulu 0800 142 446 akoshaya nawe sifuna ukuzwa ukuthi mhlawumbe ikhona inkinga leyo udibane nayo ufuna ukuthi mhlawumbe singakunceda ngayo sicela ushayele ucingo 0800 142 446 that's 0800 142 446 Otungati, that's the name of the area, and I believe that we had Nelly from Otungati. We've just lost Nelly there. Nelly, don't worry about it. We'll definitely give you a call right now. But once while we're still waiting for Nelly, maybe let's talk about Mary's questions. Then she's living. This is as far as I can understand. She's living with a child whose mother has passed on. Okay, and the problem is she does not know who the father of this child is. It's a serious one, this one now. So that's number one. And number two, she needs assistance as far as support is concerned and care is concerned. How can you help Mary in this instance?
Okay, like I said, with regard to Mary, situation ya memory, it's only next work and the case studies or the fall like under the issue children in need of care and protection. So Mary akaya ko Department of Social Development modor batlo gona go mthusha gona because rena re dila only when the relationship is soured, and then we just step in and then encourage parents to co-parent. However, like I said, gore re ka se gomise memory aye ko social development batlo mthusha ka yona tabai.
Okay. Mary, if you're listening, I know you're listening. Ya ko di office in social development. Ke bona ba ilong gore ba dila ka kiss tsa tshwana tsa gago, they'll show you in the right direction gore ke eng so tshwanetseng gore o se dire. So dira gore okay o bonane le bona ba tla ba go thushe mo. And then we had Kwena there while we're still waiting for Nelly. We had Kwena. I missed out on Kwena's first question. Kwena, I wanted to find out, and Johan, I'm coming to yours as well. Kwena, I wanted to find out, she's living with a child, and the dad used to support. The dad is not supporting anymore. What are the processes?
Okay. Mekwena only an interest in the welfare of the child because of ore akere udula le ngwana le gore nge ntate wa ngwana ha support.
Right.
So mekwena akaya ko court gore ya tsheko ga o se le mo a dula go gona, and then ayo thoma di processes tsa maintenance. And then what the court will do is they will take all the reasonable steps to locate the father and to launch an investigation into the financial affairs of the father to see if ntate o tla gona re a support ngwana. Taba ya memory, can I just quickly allude to something? They get involved in a case where is similar to ntate ya memory, where ntate o ile a tlogela mmereko and then anka di pension a tsamaya ka tsona. In that case court ile ya order gore ha gona ngwana ile gore santse gore a khopele for dijo gore ngwana ha tshwana gore a sokole dijo. So rena le duty ya gore the maintenance officers na duty ya gore they must go and attach those pension funds for the future maintenance of the child. So she can go to the nearest court and get assistance. Definitely, she will definitely get it because they will launch an investigation into the financial affairs of the father.
All right, cool stuff. Johan came in as well. Johan is one. He wants to find out. He's not living with the child. The child is living quite far away. I think he mentioned Port Shepstone at some point. Johan is in Pretoria. He's been going back and forth with issues of being able to see the child, and I presume Johan would like to spend a bit more time, maybe take the child for a couple of days or whatever. But when it comes to issues of distance between father and the child that they want to be part of, let me put it that way, how are you assisting? Because for him to be called perhaps to a court in Port Shepstone quite a number of times, like he says, he's been going from pillar to post. How can he speed up the process and make it easier for him in his pocket, and also, be a bit more comfortable for both him and the child?
Okay, and that's where we talk about the beauty of the vastness of the Office of the Family Advocate. We have internal processes in the sense that even though John is based in Pretoria, he can attend the Office of the Family Advocate in Pretoria, who will, in terms of the internal processes, do what we call a Regulation 6 process. That is, they're going to, like take down what, John needs and then refer it to the family advocate in Durban or in KwaZulu-Natal, who will then do the investigation that side and provide us with a report. And I would also, suggest that John must also contact me. I will provide my email address at the end of the show so that he can contact me, and then so that I can then see how best I can assist him as well.
0800 142 446. Have we got Nelly on the line? Okay, let me take a call. Is it Tabo? Okay, I'm not lip reading properly this evening, by the way. Maybe just to paint a picture of what the studio looks like. I'm on the other side of the studio, and there's a huge glass in front of me. I can see my producers on the other side, but sometimes they talk to me. And because they're on the other side. Okay, he's written something down. My senior producer's written something down, and he says Tsepo from Klerksdorp. You see, the problem with this is that the person that's assisting in terms of writing the names down, yeah, give a slow. You see, so to write the word Tsepo, it takes him a bit, 20 minutes or so. Tsepo from Klerksdorp. Good evening to you.
Karabo dumela.
O re mbra Tshepo?
Ntate go siame man go jwana.
Go shapo bro wa ka man.
Ya ke se potlezo po itso live FM potlezo.
Tala.
Di shome.
Botso a reng bro?
Ka o botso ga e monto man. A on botse o ke ka khona go thusa mo le bakeng la gore o tshelo mo se wi di mail ntate ba hloka se.
Right.
Mail ntate ba tseni ba gona ba ngwana ba hloka se ba le ba ba nyalane ba hloka se ba le ba.
So mail ntate ba hloka hetse, even longkgono le ntate ngkgono ba le bona ba hloka hetse.
No, ke batla go potsonya. Ke batla go potsonya.
Okay.
Aba hloka tsena ba na ba di go bonne go mosadi ba go bo mosadi. Yana go bontate ba tla go tlala ba tla bana yana ba go bonne ba gala ka bana. Le tsena ya mo ganye gore bana family tse di gone go ba le relationship le ba.
Okay, let me steer it a little bit and refer a bit more direction to it. The parents bangwana, or were they married or not?
Yeah, bana ba ni.
Okay, I think then the encourage. Okay, no, thanks. But Tsepo will definitely deal with that one as well.
And then put a bit,
yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
What I'll be a young woman. What I ya bona man. This has a well in memo motor. Motor than I didn't open the because you don't have that you don't show that thing. You have a muy to open the but only to open the fucker information and so I was a joke or a honorable we to open the go to the
Tsepo, oh my mate, by the way. The motor win. Here she is. She's listening to you.
Tsepo, that is help.
Ma.
Pap.
Good problem everyone. So to then I had a drone show tonight. You can we open the tuna. We open 3 and it's also like how good in a reasonable centers the ball of Boston Calabo State. Don't be a little. You think I am more to anything because how difficult I do know how difficult now. This is about open.
And it's ke motlotlo gore wena gore re a fitla ntate ka October ta be re le ko Northwest epe a se re confirm gore na re ta be re le ko tropong efe mara nteng ka o tshepisang yona gore re dira di plan ntate gore re le fitlhelle ka ofela
ha go ba re fitlhelle ka ofela le gone go ba tla gone go itse le fitlhile go to ba tla gone go le access le lona mo wa bona.
Thank you ntate.
All right, but Tsepo, thanks my brother. T-Man, there we go. 0800 142 446, 17 minutes just before 7 o'clock. I'm coming to those Facebook messages, Nina. I'm just trying to reboot my computer. I went on air and I praised my computer so much. It looks like it's the one name at Veselina this evening because I'm not connecting at all. But I'm coming to those. No worries about it. Don't worry about it. 0800 142 446. Let's let Arwe kadi potso tsa Tshepo there. Okay. What is your take on the first one where he mentioned that both parents have passed on? Ngwana o dula le on the mother's side. Okay,
Yes.
and then the dad side of things, babata custody of one, right? And then obviously they're being denied custody of one. It's quite a complex one. That one. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Not necessarily Abuti Karabo, because I can ga ke thopa ke boletse gore molao o change.
Right.
The Children's Act it recognize extended families.
Yes.
Ha isa bua ka family in the nuclear sense of the word.
Okay.
It recognize extended families. So bontate tshepo ba ka ya ko office of the family advocate ba yo bulela ka yona taba e.
Okay. So on a platform there in which they can actually sort this matter out.
Papa, because I remember what I also alluded to issue ya di family group conferences.
Yes.
Gore Children's Court e ka ordera gore re etse investigation gore go shebiwe gore na ngwana o hantlentle ke eng se se ka motshwanelang gore di interest tsa gagwe di gone go secure.
Good stuff. All right, let's go to Lephalale. Lephalale, we're going to be chatting to Hazeline Nokuthula from Soweto. Hold on, Nokuthula, I'm coming to you. Skawara wena. Hazeline from Lephalale. Good evening to you, Hazeline.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Okay, ya leboga gore le tlise program and then to dimedisa le mama ka mo studio.
Tumela mama.
Na ke like on behalf of my sister, my young sister, because ile anyalwa, and then after anyetse ko bohadi a starta o like boletse ba tlhaloganye, and then ba museta ka gae, so bana le bana ba mo tsela bana, and then since a thomolola tlhaloganya monna ha ya sele a mo tlogela, and then ene a dula le bana ko habo, and then so ntse e tsagalang ona no ga ba dimelle gore a ka khona a bone bana ba gagwe like during the school day holidays, and then this year the beginning this year gona le ngwana mo second born ya gagwe o ne a batla go to dula le mama gagwe ka rona mama ga o nna ka mo ga ile rona because wa lwala, so ngwanola a ba founela papa gagwe, papa ga ra gona problem ngwana ka nna dula le mama ga tsena sekolo, then ma ga ya sekolong a mo register ga ngwana a thomile go tsena sekolo, papa ga a ya di social working a fitla a tlhalositse social worker gore ngwana rena re tsere ngwana, so di social worker di ya di etsa ngwana ko sekolong ba mo isetsa kwa papa he ngwana o he wrote a letter a ngwala mama ge le kwa le gore ene one day o tlo ipolaya because ga kgotsofala ha ba tsonna ka go boko kwa ge o batla go nna le mama yani, so taba ha ile so a re tsebe re ka mothusa yang because o bola ke boletse ba tlhaloganyo, and then ge a ya kwa ba re go ene tshwantsa ipolelele, and then ha gone ka lebaka la gore o na le problem ya boletse ba tlhaloganyo, o na le ngwa di statement tsile le mo tshentshile, and then ngwana wa tshwenya because o batla go nna ka mo gae.
Okay. All right, Hazeline. Yeah. I don't want to. Just one more question to you. Una mo heme ga ngwana.
Ngwana o na le bo 14 years.
Okay. Hazeline, ke kopa o mamele mo radio, and then we'll definitely answer question ya gago na ne. We'll give you a direction in terms of o tlamile o etseng.
Okay, ke a leboga.
Thank you so much for that. Nokuthula from Soweto. Nokuthula?
Hello, Baba.
Ninjani ma?
Siyaphila ninjani baba?
Siyaphila. Awuzwe ke manje ngiyaswitcha ke manje.
Yebo mama.
Angithi bengishaya isisuthu manje ngizokhuluma isiZulu. Sithi Nokuthula masizwe kuwe umbuzo wakho uthini ma?
Oh, ninenkinga lana mina baba. Abantwana after kushukuthi they were in children's they were at a place of safety. They were removed baba after that saga grandmother wayeba kidnappile balenda beku place of safety. After that people lesihamba icourt watholakala ukuthi because I'm physically disabled. Magistrate wathi because I also need a lot of care as well. Abahambe ke bayohlala with paternal grandparents, and then there was this fight, and then magistrate wathi no, during school holidays kids are supposed to visit us ngaphathina la eJoburg. Manje inkinga ila umntwana lona has been influenced. The other they are two, it's a boy and a girl. The other one is 7, the other one is 8. Lo wentombazane lo uyafuna ukuza ekhaya
lo mfana usitela ukuthi yena ngeke aphindeze lapho yena eJoburg akafuni, she doesn't belong to the Mokwenas, all those things. Izinto ayikhulumayo lo mntwana being a 7-year-old, they are so ziyathusa manje uthi angifuni nanokuthi nginibone nokunibona manje uyazwa ukuthi lo mntwana lo is being influenced
by somebody else.
And then manje, yes, manje njengoba kunje lo owintombazane manje uyasho ukuthi no mina ngiyafuna ukuza because really I cannot stay at KZN, ngifunde KZN and anyanga laphana ngoba bengithanda uyakhona manje lo olomfana uyazwa ukuthi uyasho ukuthi he's being influenced. Masi uthi manifika la ngizabiza amaphoyisa mina ngizi lapho eJoburg.
Okay. All right. Nyakuzwa siswam. Basically, we've got a problem where two kids in the place of safety, right? The one wants omunye lo ufuna ukubuya ekhaya. Omunye all right, yes.
Now.
But lo munye lo ufuna ukubuya ekhaya lapha eJoburg. Lo munye lo akafuni, and the suspicions ukuthi there's some form of influence kuye.
Yes, ngoba futhi ugrandmother nangama holidays lawa akaMarch wayengafuni ukuthi babuye, eventually bagcine bengezanga vele. Namanje uye wathi makufanele abantwana babuye wathi uanti wabo ufuna bayomvakashela. Ngathi mina no mama, it's not fair abantwana manje because uthi ama school holidays sefanele bayovakashela uanti wabo all the way le eKurumane. So it's not on like that.
Okay, so Sam. Yeah, okay. We've got the gist of it. We'll see how we can tackle it. Just keep on listening on the radio, okay?
All right.
There we go. Wherever you want to start.
Tikopa otomaka ya Mehezeline ya gore auswa gage o na le bolwetse ba monagano, and then a gone go bona bana. Ke nne ke tlo advise gore bo Mehezeline, because I can re promote family cohesion. Mehezeline ha aka ya ko children's court. A kope gore a appointiwe as what we call a curator.
Okay.
For bana ba. Ka baka ba mme wa bona cannot stand in for them. A kope gore ba assign bana ba go yena a gone go ba thusa. So ke tlo kopa re aye ko children's court, and then a fitla a be story sa gagwe, and then ba tlo mo romela ko rona re gone go etsa investigation gore re gone go ba thusa, because of we are saying gore ngwana o na le ditukelo tsa gore a bonane le batswadi ba gagwe ka bobedi ga bona. Ha gona ngwana sentse re a ganetse gore a bonane le batswadi ba gagwe. So mme se dine ke kopa aye ko court ayo batisisa mabapi ditaba ya appointment ya a curator ba tla mo fa information. Okay, and then ke ya mama Noctula ke module a bega te mention the issue ya ga magistrate. Right. So nyazuma ukuthi there was a court order in relation to labantwana ukuthi mele ukuthi nabo babonane naye njengoba bekasho athi u magistrate bekathe mele ukuthi bambone but for her disability issues. So mina bengithi makabuyele back to u magistrate abatshela ukuthi the court order le by keep, no one is adhering to it. Because because remember what tina a family advocate, if a court be say pronounce on the matter, we cannot fiddle with that because kune standing court order. Makabuyela vela athi there is a violation of the court order, ngicela uncedo khona lapho because of kune standing court order.
Right. Okay. All right, let's take one more caller quickly. Botshabelo, and we're going to be chatting to Pulani. Aus Pulani Dumela.
Dumela lekai.
Rutenela me waka.
Pateng.
Ko bua le nna tu.
Ke Pulani Botshabelo ntse ke mametse mosipatsela. Jwale tabaka ke hore ausi ona le bana ba bararo. Ntate wa bana ona le 6 months a sa ba support and ntate ke le ponisa jwale. Taba ena na ke etse jwang a etse jwang.
Okay. 100%. Thank you so much. It's short and sweet. Aus Pulani ko pomamele mo radio nya hao.
Thank you.
All right, there we go.
Okay, Auspulane, ngwana o na le tokelo tsa gore a supportwe ke batswadi ka bobedi ga bona in accordance with their financial capability or financial means. So ne ke tlo kopa gore mme wa bana a ye ko maintenance court ya mo gausi ya mo bana ba dulang ko teng a yo tlalea ona molato gore ba gone go mo thusa. And monate wa taba ke gore ko maintenance court like ke tshilo before gore ba tlo etsa investigation into the financial affairs tsa ntate gore a gone gore a supporte bana.
Okay. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go to Facebook quickly. Thank you so much. If you're listening via Facebook, thank you so much that you could join us as well this evening. This is the Let's Talk Justice, Live Your Rights show. It happens every Thursday of the week. So I'm glad you could listen to us and post your message on Facebook. I've got a listener who's listening to our show this evening. Listener says, they're listening via Life FM, by the way. Thank you so much, Life FM. A listener is saying, I have a daughter who's 11 years old now. I have last seen her last Christmas 2015. She doesn't want to visit me because her mother, with whom she's staying with, manipulated her and suggested that her stepmother, who's the wife to the complainant in this regard, hates her and don't want her with us. What can we do to see her more often? And he goes on to say, according to the court, she can visit us every second school holiday, but how can I change this so I see my daughter more often? Let me start off by saying, now I take off my hat to dads who are saying, okay, the court has said Kimabona Khai 4, for instance, but now I want to see them 11 times. My mom always says 11 when she wants to show you that she's talking about a bigger number. Now I want to see them more than 4 times. I want to be the dad. I want to be the father figure in their life. So 4 doesn't cut it for me. I want to raise the number to 4. What can he do?
You know, it takes us back to our, you know, like my introductory remarks wherein I said, you know, like Office of the Family Advocate all the way, because Hakatlako Family Advocate, what is going to happen is that we have what we call parenting plans, wherein they can, you know, like outline this contact, because remember that is why I said we are no longer using the word custody. Although custody has been phased out, we are using care and contact, which is more broad because it includes both physical and non-physical contact with the child. So ntate akaya ko Office of the Family Advocate, then re tlo sama gore re kry mme re ba tudise fase, and then re dire a mediation because go na le dispute with regard to the extended contact ya ntate. So ntate ke tlo sia di address yaka like email address le contact details gore ba mfone, then ke tle ke gone go ba botsa gantle gore ba thome ko kae.
All right. Cool stuff. 0800 142 446 0800 142 446 on Twitter, at DOJCD_ZA. On Instagram, it's at DOJCD, and on Facebook is the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. Let's go to Queenstown and we chat to Sipho. Good evening to you, Sipho.
No.
Kunjani baba?
Siyaphila kunjani?
Ngiyaphila. Umbuzo wakho uthini?
Umbuzo wami is that like nginomntana ne, and she will be turning 3 this year, like next week. Like okoko kwaba khona lo mntana, since she was born, I've been supporting her like about 1,000 rand or more per month, and then so hlokana no mamaki. So umamaki like one year mntana only because she had said with family yam. So umntana access emntana, if ngiyambona umntana kuzofuneka sidibane etown ka, and now umntana ngoku akahlali kunye naye umama womntana engakahlali nami, uhlala kunye nefamily because umama womntana usebenza eCape Town ngoku. So and yazi ngincedakala njani so I can have umntana maybe over weekend and school holidays.
So is that ideal for you? Is that what you're comfortable with, or are you trying to reach a compromise, Sipho? I'll tell you why I'm asking. It sounds like you're somebody that actually wants to spend more time with your child. In fact, it sounds like you want to have your child with you 24/7.
Yes, that's what I wanted, to have much time with her, because if ebehlala nomama akhe benzo understand, but now akahlali kunye nomama akhe and akahlali kunye notata.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Sipho, thanks, Bob. Thanks.
All right,
Dad's in the picture. I was waiting. All right, let's go.
Butsipho molo to Butsipho ne. Butsipho bina bengithi qala uye ku Office of the Family Advocate. Because lento lebekathatha ngayo ne, it is basically ukuba ufuna kuba abe ne more rights ze contact towards umntwana wakhe and xa bekathethayo I could pick up ukuba ubutsipho bekakashatanga nomama womntwana so ubutsipho then ulotata lo wa section 21 so makaye pha kwa office of the family advocate aphethe nazo zona leso I proofs akuba beka maintainer umntwana and then kusaqaliwa leyo inquiry into conferring the parental responsibilities and rights ku butsipho then uzobaseke aqale I process yonke ke.
All right. Looks like we've got 5 minutes to go. Let's make use of it. But I would like us to elaborate on the Section 21 quickly. You're mentioning it now for the third time.
Yes.
Just for those who don't know what the Section 21 is all about, just briefly, once we've taken this caller quickly, Mohlwa Tupa from the Northwest. Mohlwa Tupa, if only you could see how your name is written down, Baba. You'll put up a protest. Yeah. Mohlwa Tupa.
Hey.
He mona ke re ba wetse dibitso la ka mona ba ngwetse mosupa tupa a ke tsebo re ha ntle ba etsa jwang batho bana
batho ba ba tla phafa fela ka mona ntate
o tle le yona ndati ke batla ho mema hore o tle kwano o tlo ba kenya phafa ndane
ba ta straight
okay
mosadi ya ne sala ke phara jwa
okay potso
ntate ka ga bo ka nnete mosadi wa
potso ha o reng he a rutlwa
ke a le bonta ke ka go ke ne ke botsa mosomphisi ka tsene ka kwa ke go tsala ene ke malume go bana ba ba ga gone so go di paole palo bana ba ka mora gore batswadi ba bona ba hloka hale le bo gono ba bona rangwane wa bona mo ba dila wa ba leleka o re mo a ke ha bo bona ba tsama empa mara ke ha bo bona bana ba o go ne ke batla go mphutsetse go mme mono na ta bena ba ka gona o ikena na utlwa halo re na ha ile jwalo ke bo mang ba tshwanetse go tsana ho ba nna ka Sesotho ke ba ke hore enwa mogolo tshantse a tsamaya bone ya kae e sina dula re bana ba tsana.
All right, Mhlatuba, thank you so much for your call. We'll definitely tlamana re araba jwang kana potso ya hao meka mona o mametse tlamana re araba jwang potso ya hao. Thank you so much. Okay.
He ntate ya ha se itse tletse haholo o bua ka hore bana ha bana batswadi and then ba kubiwa ko ntlo and then how le jwalo he nna nka mo advise gore a ye go Department of Social Development ba yo shebisisa taba because of like ntho ke bile ka re monate wa yona go gore investigation e tlo etsiwa and then go tholagala gore na bothata ke eng bana ba because ke re like ke tshilo ka re ba need care and protection ba sentse gore ba tlemile like ba sireletsiwe against ntho e etsiwang go bona.
Right. Okay, 4 minutes to go. Let's tap into the Section 21. Maybe just a description of it. I see I don't have any social media questions anymore, so I'm good to go. All right, Section 21. You've mentioned it 3 times. Okare, I would like to know what is it all about.
Yes, Section 21. That remember, initially I alluded to the fact that the services of the family advocate were only restricted to children whose parents were married to each other. So it means that a child whose parents never married could not even access these services, regardless of the negative social, impact they were going through. But now, with the promulgation of the Children's Act, there is a specific section called Section 21, which allows fathers who are unmarried but who have children to, like, for those children to be serviced by the Office of the Family Advocate. So in terms of Section 21, like I said, it's for fathers who are unmarried, meaning that they don't automatically have parental responsibilities and rights. So what will happen is the family advocate will step in terms of doing what we call an inquiry as to whether he does have those, and then they will try and mediate with the view to get into Section 22 to saying, let us then try to to accommodate this father, so that we're doing this for the best interest of the child, for this child to have contact to both parents, not only the mother but also the father as well. So this is now catering, like it is now an extension of the services of the family advocate to children who were not covered before but are currently covered.
So fathers can no longer buffet the excuse.
No,
there's no excuse
they
now.
They cannot.
And to take care of your child.
No, they cannot, because remember we are saying that children are the bearers of rights. They have the right in terms of the Constitution, Section 28. They have the right to family care. They have the right to alternative protection. Should they be removed from a family setup?
Right.
So they do not have any excuse at all.
All right, all right, let's take our last caller very quickly. Kosi from Soweto. Kosi, very quickly, you've got 1 minute. Go.
Okay, Bab.
Yes.
umama womntwana so ngikhulise umzukulu wami from 5 years.
Yeah.
Mangimkhulisa from 5 years. Simthengela ubaba khe mthengela everything from there. Umama khona wamthatha recently ngabo ma 7 years. Bayaqabana ngazi yena uhlala ne-boyfriend. So ufuna ukuthatha umntwana amse ayohlala naye boyfriend.
Okay.
So izolo ufikile bekevakashile. Makavakashile uthe kuye kusho ukuthi uyamtshela ukuthi fanele enzeni. Uthe kuye avakashe from this week uza abuye Friday. All of a sudden izolo sekayeza uzomlanda uyalwa ngoba ubefuna ukuthi ubaba kamthengela amabhijama ngoba uyangazi uhamba nono anti wakhe. So mina ngiyambuza ngithi lo mntwana awena no2 why ufuna ukuthi ubaba khona amthengela amabhijama ngoba khona manje thina besimsupport umntwana anazange sihluphe. Yabo.
Okay.
So ufike ngodlamo wamthatha la izo. So ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi senze njani ba.
Okay, Mawam. All right. Well, let's in closing, let's deal with that. Thank you so much, Siskosi. Thank you so much, and we'll definitely follow up. If we're not giving you all the info, we'll definitely follow up on that one.
Sure.
Just very briefly, in this instance, what can we do?
Indaba yaka Mamkosi, it is exactly what we just alluded to, Section 21. Ubaba Magayeku, the Office of the Family Advocate, with regard to that issue, and then Bazom Sisaba.
They'll definitely help on
Definitely.
All right, 100%. The contact details are available on Facebook. If you would like to perhaps go grab them and make contact with the department, you're more than welcome to do that. But look in the time, it's a time for us to bid you farewell. It has been an absolutely amazing show. I really appreciated all the information that I have received here this evening. It's very helpful. It always is. And thank you so much to you, Mepeta, for having came in. Ke thaba o bona smile sa gona ka re go goptsa gae ke ya go goptsa gae ke thaba go lwana o le karolo ya khaso ya rena ya boshong bya legono. Thank you so much to all the radio stations that have taken part of this evening. We'll definitely see you next week Thursday. And by the way, before I forget, talking about children, it's a very special day today to one child who is very dear to my heart. She's the king of the house, by the way. She's the queen of the house, rather. Oh, she can be the king sometimes. She acts like it anyway. So I was given an instruction this morning to say, Dad, how is your show? You better make sure you don't close it off by saying happy birthday to me. So it is my daughter's birthday today. She's turning 11. So happy birthday to you, Letabo. Daddy loves you so much. I've got the producers on the other side, Letabo. They are saluting you. Babamba peri di kaf ba di khobola when I mention your name, because you see you are so special. I've our sound engineer lost touch of the machines as well at the mention of your name. That's how powerful you are, Letabo, to all of us. To me, to your mom, to your grandfather, to your grandmother, to your other grandfather and your grandmother, and your other grandfather and your grandmother as well. You are such a special kid. So from Daddy and Daddy's colleagues, happy birthday to you. Yes, I did buy you cake, the strawberry one. It's on the way. Just hang in there. All right, let's see you next week, same place, same time. Ciao for now. Stolana sabapedi sere. Re tla re bona gape beke e tlang.